Before we dive into our rad new ep, we want to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we record, the Wurundjeri people. We pay our respects to elders past and present and to the ongoing living culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
What's up and welcome to Girls Gotta Work podcast. I'm Jordan and I'm a hot mess.
And I'm Hayleigh, a recovering awkward person.
And we are your go-to girls for talking about the rad, the bad and the mad reality of running a business.
Go grab a coffee, kick up your feet and enjoy today's episode. Hi guys, welcome to the
What's
episode.
up? So happy to be back.
We're excited. We got so much going on. But
So
George,
much going on.
tell me first, how has your last little fortnight been? What's been happening?
My last fortnight has been a lot. Just, job hunt things.
Yeah.
I'm not quite ready to talk about it because I've still got a lot of things in the works. But I've also just been doing a few freelancer things on the side. Obviously I'm winding Scrunch fully back, but I'm just doing some once-off projects to sort of tide me over so that I'm not completely dipping into and ruining my savings while I'm unemployed. But I've been doing that and of course doing all the behind the scenes things for our event, which is so soon. We are officially in March and it is officially the month of our event,
30th. Thursday the 30th.
30 days away, 29 days. I never know how that works. It's on the 30th, but it's the first day. So is that 29 days away or is that 30 days away?
I think it depends on what time you're listening to this episode. If it's in the morning, I'm going to say 30, but if it's like a nighttime, I'm going to say 29.
And if you're listening on the second or after, this is completely irrelevant and do your own maths, please, because I physically can't. Anyway, our event is hard. Math is hard and we're not about it today. So anyway, our event is on March 30th. And if you haven't heard anything about it, it is Girls Gotta Work presents Real Talk for Women in Business. We have 3 amazing speakers lined up. We have Michelle from Aussie Biz Chicks. We have
Amy Lee from Content Queen.
And we have the lovely Liv from Visual, who is our first ever podcast guest. And she is flying down from
the Gold Coast.
Yay, there we go. That worked so much better than I thought it would. So we have some amazing speakers and what else?
Just fun all round. We've got a vibe. We've got some amazing goodie bags. Our beautiful sponsor, Little Gift Loft, has been very generous and given us some goodie bags. So they'll be on the night. You'll get fed. You'll get some drinks.
Get some bevies.
You'll get to network and chat to other business owners who get it. We just get it.
And just have an amazing night. We are so excited to get all of that started. So been working hard on that, been working on selling tickets. We've sold a few tickets now. It's very exciting. I feel like we'll sell even more in the next few weeks. But if you haven't already, go grab a ticket because we are doing quite a limited event for our first big event. So we wanted to keep it intimate, make sure that everyone, has plenty of time to chat and, no one sort of feels left out. So because it's such a big group. So limited tickets. So if you are dying to come and hang out with us, visit I was going to say link in bio, but we're not on Instagram. So visit the show notes. That's the podcasting thing. Visit the show notes. And come hang. We're so excited.
Super excited.
And how about you, Hayleigh? I've just rambled and I have no idea what I said. When you ramble and you completely black out and then you come out the other side and you're like, I don't know how long I was talking for. I don't know what I said. Anyway, that's just what I've done.
Where is it? Where am I? What day is it?
So what's going on with you before I completely lose the plot?
I've just had, believe it or not, some time off.
Who is she?
I know. I got to watch one of my best friends. Well, both of my best friends. I don't know how to say it. The couple of my friends. Well, my ex-housemates, but still current friends, not ex-friends. By the night in Red Hill in Melbourne, Victoria. So that was beautiful. I was bridesmaid. So I had some time off after that and before that to just get all in the wedding bliss of it all. So that was so much fun. So just getting back into the work things and prepping for our event. So excited.
Very exciting. But how hard is it to get back into work after being away and taking time off? Or are you ready?
Both. So you guys know that I'm a workaholic. So one, it's always hard to mentally prepare to take time off. Then in the time off, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm having so much fun. And then part of you is like, I got a little bit of work to do. I could do that in this 5-minute pocket of time, but I don't. So I'm trying to work on that really hard. And then, it's always the first day or two. If I don't prepare, or like my version of set myself up for success in the week. If I don't do that like a couple of days before I go back to work, or, you know, I'm back at my desk, then it's chaos. Like it's hard, like nothing's done. So I try and like take the day before to really meal prep, check my calendar, do a quick check of my inbox. I don't answer. I'll just like file things and flag things and delete the stuff I don't have to read, so it's ready for me the next day. But yes, I did all that, so I'm nice and organized.
Beautiful.
High five, Hayleigh.
High five past Hayleigh.
Yeah, always looking out for future Hayleigh. She's the best, honestly. OG.
She's the real MVP.
Yeah, it was good to just have about a week off there. Good to be back and jumping into the things of March. And a good, amazing month.
It's going to be a great month, and especially because we are kicking off today with a podcast guest we wanted to have on like literally for forever.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, our beautiful podcast manager is Cass from Good Chat Media. She is just the best. We love her so much.
Yeah.
She's a biz bestie. She is just one of the best people we know in business. We get along so well. She's so great to just chat to and bounce off, and she has so many amazing things to say about women supporting women in business, which is our topic for today. In our chat, we sort of talk about all the things about how important it is for women to support other women in business, and also in turn how like lucky we feel that we're so supported by women, and how much of a difference it makes to us and in our businesses that we are supported by such an amazing group of amazing women in our businesses. On top of that, Cass also walks us through her new business. She's just rebranded, and we're so proud of her.
It looks so good. I'm so obsessed.
I'm obsessed with like the visual branding, the messaging, all of it. I bloody love what she's done. And yeah, she sort of walks us through that and how sort of a lot of that is structured around some other amazing women in the industry as well. She just, everything Cass is about supporting women in business, and we're all about that too. So strap yourselves in, because we are about to get into today's episode with the lovely Cass from Good Chat Media.
So girls, our theme for the month is women in empowerment. So we're coming into March and we're just like, women are the best.
Also because, you know, it's International Women's Day on the 8th, and we have our first ever all female women in business. Female, such a weird word. Anyway, it's an event for women in business, and that is on March 31st. So March is really just like, it's all about the women for us. It always is, but March is just like even more so. So yeah, March is for the women. Welcome.
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
So ladies.
So to celebrate that, we're kicking off our first episode of March with a very special guest. Someone whose business and all-round vibe is just about supporting other women, showing up as the best version of herself and creating the life she loves. It's our amazing friend, biz bestie, podcast manager, Cass from Good Chat Media.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, I'm here. I'm in the episode.
You're on the other side. How does it feel? How does it feel to be on the mic instead of what? I don't know how you edit on the computer.
I'm still on the computer. So. And you know what? I'll be listening to this in post-production. So, but no, it feels good. I mean, it just feels like we're just talking shit like any other time we get onto Zoom anyway. So it's great.
So full heads up to all of our beautiful listeners. Cass is obviously one of our closest biz besties. So this might be a bit more chaotic than usual, because we usually just, talk shit and have a laugh, and it's always really good vibes. So we might sidetrack, we might start talking about maths, who knows, but
I love maths.
We are mostly here to be talking about
amazing women in business and supporting women. And I wanted to start with a lovely quote from Maya Angelou, which I think will tie into our first question. So Maya Angelou has said, each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it, let me try again.
She said that?
She said that. Direct quote, guys. Direct quote. We're BFs. She has said, each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it, possibly without even claiming it, she stands up for all women. Beautiful.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So Cass, hot seat time. What does women supporting women mean to you, especially in business? Why do you think it's important? Tell me all the things. Well, tell us all the things.
So I was thinking about this when you sent me the questions. And I remember when I was growing up, and I just thought it was the coolest thing to be friends with boys and to be liked by them.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't think of anything worse. And the reason why I think it means so much to me, and I'm going to make some generalized statements, but we're more emotionally intelligent, we're more nurturing by nature, and we understand that life can be fucking emotional and it's okay. So I think within business, it's like we're all having the same experiences. And this is something that we spoke about when we had the retreat, was like, we're all living just a different version of the same experience. And like to be able to share those and be like, hey, I feel like shit. And you're like, oh, well, I thought you were thriving. So wow, that's a surprise to me, but it's kind of nice to know that like I'm not the only one who feels like this. So I think it's just like being able to understand and support each other is such a nice thing to be able to do.
And do you think also being able to have those conversations, because I look at, I am friends with a lot of guys and, not necessarily business owners, but, in the sort of the corporate 9 to 5. And, I'll try to have conversations about imposter syndrome or say like, oh my God, you're killing it. And, I feel insecure about this. And they just don't get it because like they're men and like, I don't know, like they can't have an emotionally intelligent. Okay. Not that they can't, that is a mass generalization. They can. But I feel like you don't get the same level of like emotional intelligence and like compassion and all of that. Do you think that plays into it as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like even just thinking about that, when I had my job post-COVID, I worked in a sporting industry, which I was lucky enough that it was netball, so it was women run. But my like best friends at the place included with two of the guys there, and one of them really got it. And like if I was in a mood, he'd be like, all right, go take a walk. Like we can talk about it if you want, but like go take a walk around the block, come back, and then you'll feel better. Like he was very nurturing. But the other one was like, have you ever tried just not stressing? And I'm like, oh.
Have you ever been punched in the face?
Yeah. I was like, bye. You're not the person that I want to speak to about this.
Yeah. And like speaking in majorities, women are a lot like that first guy you were talking about, just a lot more like they just get it a bit more. Whereas, I feel like men, it's sort of a 50-50 coin toss of, are you going to get it or am I going to want to punch you in the face because you're telling me to calm down? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they're just much more like secure by nature, maybe. I don't know. It's just like,
what do you mean by that?
Like, I feel like, even just with like the stats, I don't know what the stat is off the top of my head, but you know how it's like when men apply for a new role, they'll go for something
like
that's
60%, I think.
Yeah. If they've got 60% of the job criteria, then they'll just go for it, where women are like, we need 95% of it. And even that 5% is going to make me like stay up at night thinking like I'm never going to get this job.
Yes.
So I think in a work sense, maybe they're just more secure. They just know that it's like they got it. They don't really have to worry about it. And like, I wish I had that kind of confidence in my mind of like, I don't need to worry about this.
Yeah. It also hasn't always been like this, if we're being honest. I think for a long time, women in business, there was only one spot for women and we had to fight for it. So there was a lot of like cattiness or like not lifting each other up. So I think it's like nice to see in our generation that it's changing a lot. And I think in the next 5, 10, fucking 20 years, it's going to look amazing. And I'm here for it. I'm on the ride. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But how do you think that has changed though? Because obviously, we all run our own businesses, but I think, I don't know, in the sort of more traditional workforce, I still think women are finding it out a lot for the same jobs. Do you think that we see more of the women supporting women because we do run our own businesses and we have the luxury of being able to sort of cheer everyone else on without putting ourselves at a disadvantage, I suppose? Or like, why do you think that's changing?
Personally, I'm just reflecting on when I was an employee rather than a business owner. I remember talking about pay, and I was very open about pay with my colleagues, male and female. And I remember when the guy that said, don't stress, or whatever it was, have you ever tried not stressing? I remember when he started, we were talking about pay, and his was, I think, 20,000 more than mine.
Wow.
And we weren't doing specifically the same role, but we were on the same level. Like we were within the same rung. And even people that were on the same level as him in terms of, it was a marketing role and he was in marketing and my friend was in marketing and partnerships, and he was still getting at least 20K more than her.
Yeah.
And even more than that. And I have been saying to her, because she still works there, and I'm like, have they given you a pay rise? And even still, it's just like pathetic how much money is like not automatically, but I feel like men are maybe more confident to ask for more money where women maybe aren't. And I think that's what you were saying, like, Hayleigh, it's like we haven't had those roles. Like there hasn't been those roles.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just that we're not used to standing up, or we just don't want to take up space in that space, where I feel like as an entrepreneur, we can be like, no, this is my space. Like I'm going to take up all the space because this is the space that I've created to take up that space.
Well, I feel like you almost have to. If you're an entrepreneur and you're not putting yourself out there and actively taking up space, I really don't know if you're going to get all that far, because you have to put yourself out there. Like coming with my marketing hat on, if you're not presenting yourself as the person who can do the job and do it well and like take up space and be confident about it, even if you're faking it till you make it, which so condoned here, if you're not doing that, you're not really going to get all that far. And I think whereas in the corporate 9 to 5, it's just different. Like you sort of take it and be grateful that you've got a job, and that's that.
Yeah.
We're also been conditioned to think like that.
Oh, totally. You know, working on dismantling patriarchy, one pay rise at a time.
one podcast episode.
Yeah, amazing.
I think what you just said there, Cass, is just like taking up space as an entrepreneur and as a woman is so important, because I think after you said that, I was like, oh yes, in all my other like normal 9 to 5s, I definitely was like, this is my place. This is what I get paid. If they want to give me money, they'll give me more money, but I'm never going to ask for it.
Yeah. Like I even think back and I'm like, why was I so afraid of asking? What was I afraid of? And I think when you have your own business, there's like an element of fearlessness that you have to have. And you can feel a shitload of fear, but it's just like that fake it till you make it kind of thing, just kind of blind confidence that you'll figure it out. I think that's the thing, is like you'll figure it out. It might not be perfect. You'll figure out how to do it. And you just don't have that when you work as an employee for most of the time. I'm not speaking in everyone, but I definitely didn't. And I was thinking, like, when I started that job, like they told me, we don't pay that well, but it's a fun place to work.
Yeah.
And now thinking about it, I'm like, well, the fun didn't really pay my bills. It was enough to get by, but like, God, I did love working there though. So
yeah, which is always hard, because I feel like we're always promised this is a fun job. It might not pay as well as somewhere else, but like it's really fun and you'll have a lot of fun. And I'm all for having fun and loving what you do, you know, in a job as well. But as you said, like you need to earn money. And I think especially when you know that your male counterparts are earning more, you have to advocate for yourself and take up space and I don't like the word demand, but I suppose demand more for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's hard because as you said, Hayleigh, we've been conditioned to do the opposite, which is stay quiet and just be grateful and, you know, say thank you and smile and get on with it.
Yeah.
It's like that post that you shared the other day, Hayleigh, of what was it?
We're nailing this, guys.
The normal quote is, when you buy from a small business owner does a happy dance. And the new one is, when you buy from a small business owner, they scratch out happy dance, pay their fucking bills.
Yeah. It's like, happy dance that I can actually eat this week. Cool. Thanks, guys.
And pay off my mortgage or pay my rent or do all of the things that, you know, actual real life money requires in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm still doing happy dances when I pay the bill.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yes. Especially because we're service-based, not product-based.
Product-based.
It's a different thing. There's no like, I mean, I get excited when I get a new client, sure, but it's not like a product where it's like, here, have this product and then see you later, never talk to you again. It's an ongoing thing and it's relationship building, and it's not just a one-time transaction.
It's also like the glamorization of running a small business. It's like, that's all it takes. It's like, cha-ching. Oh, I'm like a fancy business owner. Like, look how well I did. I'm doing a happy dance. I sold the thing. It's like, well, yeah, but the reality is like, yes, I sold a thing, but now I can pay my staff. I can pay my rent. I can pay for my electricity. Like,
yeah. Gals, right back at you. What does women supporting women mean to you in business and life?
Just going to handball it straight to you, Hayleigh. I will piggyback off you today.
I felt that. I was like, I felt this. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite things. It's why I do exactly what I do. I've thought for a really long time that, well, my favorite thing in business is getting to see women step into their power and step into that thing that's been on their heart, because we have been so conditioned to be small and not ask and not dream really big. So it's like getting to see that and be a part of that is my absolute most favorite thing in the friggin' world, and exactly why I do what I do. But getting to, like, to quote Hamilton musical, getting to be in the room where it happened, like, is my favorite.
And I think as well, when it is women supporting women, it goes back to like one of our first ever episodes, which is just the girls that get it. It's the whole reason why we started Girls Gotta Work as well. It's like we could have started a podcast and, you know, a growing community space and all the things that we're doing targeted at business owners in general and not sort of gender specifying it. But it doesn't appeal to me as much because, like, I think men have had so much privilege in, you know, their businesses, and they've been running businesses for longer, and, you know, they are still hugely advantaged in society in general. I think it's so much more gratifying when you're helping other women and you're seeing what they can do, because for so long we haven't really been able to show what we can do. We haven't been able to step into our power and, you know, actually take up space in the world. And now being able to like help people through the podcast or through the events that we're hosting this year or whatever it is, really being able to help people do that and help women really sort of, I don't know, live their best life. It's so just so fulfilling in general. I think women are also in general, I think we're more grateful for help. Like, you know, when I know anytime all, you know, three of us are chatting about business, or, you know, in Cass, I know you've just launched a new business, which we'll get into in a little bit. But, you know, even talking back and forth with you about, you know, you've asked questions, or, you know, you've asked us to test your website or whatever it is. It's so great because we, like, you can feel that you're just so stoked to have some, like, to have someone to bounce off. And I think it's the same vice versa. Whenever we're like, hey, Cass, can you help us with all the things that we don't know how to do? Like, you get it. And I think same, I mean, correct us if I'm wrong, but I think like there's so much gratitude there and so much mutual love and respect that is really spoken. And I feel like it's just not quite as spoken when it comes to working with men.
Yeah. I think that goes back to like not afraid to show emotion as well. And like, because we know that we can be like, oh my God, this is so stressful. Or like, you know, we're talking offline of like, oh, this is happening in, you know, my relationship or like whatever. And it's like, we understand that those things are going to affect us during the day, and that, you know, work might be impacted because we're feeling crap because of this thing happening on the weekend, or, you know, whatever it is. We understand that like people are busy, and so for them to take time out, especially to do something that's an unpaid thing, like you guys helping me test my website or give me feedback or like whatever it is, either way, it's like, hell yeah, I'll help you, because it's like, I just look at it as like, when you guys win, I win. When everyone else, you know, there's no competition.
No, because there's so much space for everyone to take up space on their own. Have you ever heard of the surprise and delight marketing technique?
I sure have, because Anne from The Little Gift Loft is the queen of all things surprise and delight, with corporate gift boxes to tickle anyone's fancy.
And if the word corporate has you running for the hills, please don't put your sneakers on just yet. The Little Gift Loft specialize in helping small businesses stand out from the pack with exceptional, thoughtful gifts that leave a lasting impression.
As someone who's worked with The Little Gift Loft repeatedly in my own business, I can't say enough about the genuine care that goes into each box. The Little Gift Loft always takes the time to understand exactly what kind of impression I want to make, and helps design a modern, thoughtful gift that is branded to perfection. It's a real dream come true for a biz owner whose love language is gifting.
And to make us fall in love with the Little Gift Loft even more, Ange has been generous enough to offer the Girls Gotta Work crew a special discount.
That's right, George. For all of March, the Girls Gotta Work crew get 15% off corporate gift boxes to surprise and delight their clients, employees, or guests.
And all you have to do is use the code GGW15 at checkout for 15% off.
A huge thanks to The Little Gift Loft for making this episode of Girls Gotta Work possible.
Exactly. There's no need for it to be like, I literally am obsessed with everything you do. I'm like, every time there's a post, I'm like, I gotta get in on this, because or like I see it in my TikTok and I'm like, oh, what is it now? Like, I just love being able to be involved with people that are passionate. And that's another thing, passion, where I feel like women show so much passion in what they do. And it just makes life so exciting. I think the other thing as well, like I was thinking about this with when we support women to do other things is like, I'm not a mum and I'm very happy to not be a mum right now. Like, because I don't know when people get the time to do things, but like how the F do women with like, especially small children?
Yeah.
How the fuck do they run businesses?
Yeah.
Like, or like,
yeah.
They're the ones to be the first to lean into getting help because they're like, okay, we understand that like we only have limited time in the day. Like this is what we need help with. And I'm just like, if someone's got kids and like they've got other stuff going on, I'm so patient with like getting things back from them because I'm like, dude, you got shit going on. Like I'm here with like all I've got going on is like wanting to watch Married at First Sight at night and like
catching up on the emails. Like
exactly. And like I can do that at the same time. So
in the ad breaks.
Exactly. But like people with kids, I'm like, damn guys, like you guys are fucking superstars. Like, how are you doing that? Do you have more hours in the day than anyone else?
And I feel like it is
I don't know.
I think you're right. It's like they lean on their community so much more because they have to. And I think, I don't know, all of us like pre-having babies, it's sort of almost good practice to be like, okay, well, I can lean on these girls for so many things. And like when I do have kids and life does get fucking hectic, like I'm the same. I have no idea how mums do it. When it does get to that point, we have the skills already. Like we have the practice in doing it. Asking for help becomes less difficult. And therefore I think it becomes easier to sort of juggle all of it.
I think it's also nice, like between our 3 like services as well. Like I use both of you for like help in my business. Yeah. And then you guys use me as help in your business. And it's like, I don't ever feel pressured to ask you guys for help, but I know you're fucking superstars at what you do. So I'm like, please help me in this. And like, I remember that time, Hayleigh, where we were talking and I was saying like, I don't know what I would outsource. And you're like, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And I was like,
here's a list.
Well, can you please tell me that in an email and set me up? Because I don't know what I'm doing and I need your help, but I just don't know how to convey that because it's not my skill set. That's okay. But yeah, like having the practice to be able to do that. I think in my mind, like in business, like I don't know if I'll ever have kids, but my background to it is always like, okay, well, if I ever have kids, I've got my life set up in a way that will allow them to have a really happy life with me and be present and be able to be in their life, spending as much time as possible with them and having the money that I want to have. Yeah. Without being like, oh, I've got to drop you. You know, my childhood was I got to drop you at childcare in the morning. My mum was a single mum and it was like she got to drop us there in the morning and she would pick us up on the way home just so she could pay for the childcare for us to go to. So I'm like, you know, props to Jules, but I don't know how she did it either. Just thank God I don't have kids right now because I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to all the mums who are doing it because you guys are the real MVPs and superstars. And just good on you. So we did touch on a little bit that you, Cass, have just relaunched your business. I have had the pleasure of working with you. Actually, we sort of all have been working together on it and it's been so nice to see it come to life, I suppose. So I'd love for you to tell us about like your new business and your vision and what it has to do with women supporting other women. Like I know the answer. Hayleigh knows the answer. You know the answer, but I would love for you to tell our community, I suppose, how your business overlaps with what we're talking about today.
Yeah, so new business, Good Chat Media.
Woohoo!
You know how it was decided? Was having breakfast with you two.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm just not showing up in my business. I was doing just freelance podcast stuff and I was like, just not showing up. I'm not really proud of my brand. And Jordan's like, well, why don't you just change it then? I'm like, well, if I knew we could just do that, I would have done it.
But it's like sometimes we need the permission slip as well to just be like, you don't have to stay unhappy. Like, just change it.
Oh, really? Okay, let's do it then. So super exciting. Everything is all up and running now. And you guys have helped me so much, even without professional services, just as support and everything. So thank you guys so much for that. But
literally anytime.
That's my boxer is so amazing. You know, I wasn't feeling good about how I was showing up and didn't really make sense anymore, the brand. And I wasn't really working on any brand awareness or anything like that. So it really I was kind of just doing a disservice to myself. And then It's this like saying like, oh, I don't like the way I look, but they're not doing anything about it. It's like, you know, just if you want to change something, you can just change something. Here's my permission to you after Jordan gave it to me. But so Good Chat Media is to help people build their brand and credibility and help them connect with the right people to make them grow their business and help them grow their bank accounts as well, which is lovely. Yeah. So, and I actually named my packages after, I call them my queens, but some incredible women.
Oh my gosh. Tell us.
So the management or growth packages that I have, the first one is the Beyonce, because somehow she has 30 hours in a day rather than 24.
Yeah.
Queen.
Absolute queen.
The Dolly, because I just think Dolly Parton is such an exceptional woman.
Yeah.
And I look up to her so much. And I think the whole thing about being a woman and never letting any comments of what anyone else thinks about you bother you is like a superpower within itself, because she just, nothing bothers her and she just knows that she's the shit. And I'm like, love you, obsessed. And then the all-in package is the Mariah, because she's the ultimate diva.
Yeah.
She wants it all and here for it. So,
and not afraid to ask for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. And so what sort of led you to that decision of naming your packages after the queens?
My whole kind of brand coming up to this, even when I was doing with Ecosystem, is I'm obsessed with pop culture, and I wanted to keep that fun element of that, and to show that, like, I mean, to be honest, what I'm doing is not that serious. So I wanted to keep that fun element in there and really just bring it back to things that I love to do, which is help women be cool as fuck. And that's what I think Beyonce, Dolly, and Mariah are.
I love that.
Yeah, well, Cass, I fucking love, this is my favorite quote now, helping women just be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I wrote it down. I underlined it. That's now my motto for the rest of my life. Putting that quote aside, what is one wish for future women in business that if you could instill into someone who's listening and about to start a business or doing business, what is something that you wish for them that they either knew or just, want to instill in them?
There's two elements of this. I think there's like a logical and an emotional maybe side of it.
Yeah.
Logical side, starting in business, caring about your brand and caring about how growing your brand is so important, because I am 2 years into business now and I'm only just kind of realizing that, and it could have been so much different if I did care about that. And I guess that's why I love doing what I do in producing podcasts for people that want to get their brand out there, their brand awareness that you can build and credibility that you can build with podcasting is incredible. And it's not underrated because people are starting to get wind of it, but like being able to talk to people on this level is so amazing. And the amount of times people have said to me, do you have a podcast? I'm like, oh, no, but I probably should, because it makes sense for me to have one. And I have started a podcast.
Yay.
So that's the logical side, is thinking about your branding as a business. What's the heart side of that answer?
Genuinely, to find friends like you guys.
Oh, oh, that's so nice.
When I started business, like the first things people would always say to me and I would always read was like, find your tribe. And then I joined One Roof and, found some other people through there. But, just going to an event and meeting you guys and then being able to build from there was just like, you really don't know how much support you do need and how much people do get it until you do meet the people that actually care for you. Yeah, it's the girls that get it.
And I think it's also taking it to that next step of not just the girls who get it, because I think a lot of women who run their own businesses can understand your experience, but finding the people that fit well, like we've all spoken about, we love so many people in this industry, but some people we mesh with more than others. And it's not that the ones we don't mesh with, we're like, fuck them, we hate them, we won't support them. Like we'll still support them, but
no, we love you.
Yeah, but it's still like you find the ones who you literally can be on Voxer in your car crying, being like, I'm so sad, nothing is working, help me get out of this funk. And then they'll be like, okay, like, you got this, like, let's there's no judgment to it as well. And I think,
have you eaten today?
Are you just hangry?
Yeah, did you go outside into the sun? You'll feel better.
But yeah, that's very sweet. I agree. I couldn't do business without you ladies either.
Yeah, it's finding the right people. And I think sometimes that might be hard, but just like to other people, if they're starting out in business, that just try and find people and just connect with people. And you know what? Most of the time, especially on Instagram and stuff, everyone's so friendly.
So friendly.
You can message anyone and be like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with your branding, or I'm obsessed with, the posts that you're putting out, or, whatever. And they'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Because you know how much effort people put into those things. And for people to be like, oh my God, I love your branding, and just message people and they will love it.
Yeah. And it comes back to women supporting women. Like if, you DM literally any woman on Instagram with a compliment, or just like oh my God, I loved your latest post. Like, here are my thoughts about what you said. Yeah. They're probably going to be like, oh my God, day made. Yeah. No one ever messages me. But like they will feel so grateful.
Yeah. It makes such a difference. One of my favorite things is be one of those women that brings out the best in other women. And I think that would be my like piece of advice, is to find a tribe that does that, because that's going to be valuable. And like, we all luckily right now, Cass is leaving us, but we all luckily live in Melbourne.
Have not forgiven you, but it's
Cass is amazing. But like I have other business friends that live all throughout Australia, and I think that we're lucky to have communities like that and have the technology that we freaking have now. And as sucky as COVID was, I think that COVID taught me that. Like I didn't think that before. I'm like super introverted, and like making friends is hard. And because I was playing that in my brain, I was like, oh, where am I going to find the people? But I found the people, and it's worth it. So introverts, just a side note, go out and find the people.
Everyone go out and find the people.
My boyfriend knows exactly who you are, because I'm John and Hayleigh said.
Yeah,
I don't know why that's my voice, but
no, Alex will try to like give me some advice, and I'll be like, oh yeah, but Cass and Hayleigh said this, and and he'll be like, okay. He'll be like, oh, yeah, really good points. Have you considered? And I was like, I'll run it past the girls and see what they think. All right, well, I think before we completely go off the rails, Cass, we are at the end of our episode. Thank you so much for coming on. But before we kick you off so that we can do other stuff, would you like to...
We're not just going to sit here all day? What?
I mean, like we can actually, maybe we'll scrap the rest of our actual business plans and just have a wine and whinge, impromptu wine and whinge. Anyway, before we have an impromptu wine and whinge, hit us with your shameless plug. We give everyone the chance to shamelessly plug whatever they've got going on. Obviously, you have heaps going on, so sell your stuff.
Well, today my podcast went live.
Woohoo!
So, good chats.
We'll put a link to Cass's amazing podcast in the show notes, but tell us all about it.
I will put a link to my own show notes. I
was going to say that. I was like, Cass, you can do
that. Note to self.
So Good Chats is live today. So exciting. And I released 3 episodes to just get it out into the world. And please listen to make me not sound like an idiot.
What's it about? What are we going to get from the first 3 episodes?
So first 3 episodes, I've got a little bit of like my story, how I went from being redundant to a business owner.
Love that.
And then we've got how to start a podcast, because that's always
number one question.
Always a good question to start with. And then also creating content that converts.
Ooh,
so yeah. We talk about monetizing podcasts and things like that. So the podcast is business-based with a highlight of marketing and podcasting. So we've got some awesome guests lined up, including these girls right here.
And we are so excited to jump on. I have no idea what we're going to talk about yet. We haven't spoken about it, but I'm ready to keep chatting. We've been at this for like much longer than the episode will be, and it's just been a good time.
I'll cut it all out. Sorry. And then also for anyone who wants to start a podcast, I've got a free ebook. I've got some free ebooks on launching and growing your podcast, and also strategy sessions, which I love doing. So it's an hour. You get to ask me anything you want about launching or growing a podcast.
And so when it comes to your strategy sessions, so you've got launch and grow. So I'm assuming people who want to launch their podcast, that's the launch strategy sessions are for people who have not yet launched. Yep. And growth is for people who have and just want to do better.
Yeah, that's it. So a lot of people, when they get to the point of like having a few episodes, they're like, okay, how can I make money now? And and that's what we help people do. So
Amazing.
making money, but also just making it better. Like I had a growth session the other day, and these guys came to me because they wanted to grow their podcast, and I was so intimidated. I remember talking to you guys about this, and I was so intimidated because they had so many downloads and such amazing, numbers on their podcast. And I was like, what could you possibly want from me? But I did my pre-call audit like I normally do, and I was like, okay, there's so many things, like little things that I can help you fix that will make this so much better. So like, the show notes on your website and having links to your guests and the way you introduce your guests and, so many things that people need to work on, especially if you DIY your podcast at the start.
Yeah.
So that's a really good session for that.
Amazing.
So many fun things going on, Cass. We love having you as Biz Bestie. We love having you in our lives, but we also have loved having you as a guest on the episode. And I am sure everyone listening has also loved it and learnt a lot about how to support women in business and all the fun things and how important podcasting is. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Having me.
And guys, don't forget to follow Cass.
I will pop all of my contact details in the show notes. If you want to check out my website, it's goodchatmedia.co, and I'll pop all my social links in the show notes.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, super proud of you for your launch as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Chaos.
Chaos.
I love it. And that's a wrap, fam. As always, we love being in your ears, sharing the highs and lows of running a business.
If you want to keep the party going, come join us on Instagram and TikTok at Girls Gonna Work Podcast. We are a small business, so if you're feeling extra kind, we'd love it if you could like, subscribe, and leave a review on your podcast app of choice.
And this podcast was produced by Good Chat Media, so go give them a follow if you loved the app.
Bye!